What's up, snake fans? Dave Palumbo here. Tuesday night, actually Wednesday morning. It's once again 2 a.m. in the morning. Seems to be my typical video time. I didn't get it to a video yesterday. I was a little busy, so today I wanted to get something at least tonight while I'm feeding. A lot of people have been asking me about the SCORIA BOA. The SCORIA BOA is like a real anomalous BOA. It's like it doesn't look like anything else that we see. Whoa, Jedi, my cat. What are you doing outside? Look at this. I'm at the snake building. Somehow my Persian cat, which is not an outdoor cat, is outside, and he came and found me. This cat in my neighborhood will get eaten by everything. I mean, he is not a cat that should be running around. Get in there. Stay in there for a second. So, it's insanity here. 2 a.m. in the morning. I got cats. I didn't even know she was outside. Or he was outside, I should say. All right, let's get back to this. So the SCORIA, get over here. Now he's running away. Get over here, Jedi. Come here. So the point is, let's get back to this talk. The SCORIA boat is very anomalous in the sense that it doesn't look like any other boas. It's so aberrant that I think that people thought that it was just like a one-off random mutation that was not even going to be reproducible initially. And it turns out that it is. It's actually a very, very good breeder, at least in my experience with it. I've only bred females so far, but they breed really well. They eat well, they grow well. But they're almost analogous to the spider morph in the ball python and to the jag morph in the carpet python. They're such a reduced pattern snake, and they're gorgeous. But some of them can show some neurological, shakiness to them. I haven't really seen it too much in my SCORIAs, but it's inherent in the gene. And once again, we've talked about this with Travis Wyman when I had him on the show, Nick Mutton. When you start messing with pattern, a lot of times you see neurological issues with the snakes because these pattern distributions migrate embryologically with the neurological development of the spinal cord and neural tube. So once again, I don't really see it as being such an issue, especially in boas, the way it might be in the ball python world. But the SCORIA is such a unique animal. It's so purple. This Jedi again, this cat. It's so unique in the sense that it's purplish. It looks like nothing else in the boa world. So I mean, how could you not want this snake? And it's historically been a very expensive morph. It still is. It still holds its value really well. I had bought a female a number of years ago for a lot of money, and I bred it to my Paradigm Blood male. And in 2019, I produced 5 females, no males, 5 female SCORIA that were double het for blood, and then what we call parahet, which is parahet means it's either 100% het sharp albino or 100% boa woman caramel. You don't know which one it is. So I kept back 3 of the 5. I have one I had traded with a good friend of mine, Doug, and then I have one more left that I think I'm going to be putting up for sale. So anyway, people have been asking me how these SCORIAs have been doing. I want to show you. What's interesting is that there's a huge variability in the way these things look, which is crazy when you think about it because, but then again, SCORIAs do have variability within themselves, by nature. But I think the het blood aspect of the snake has also messed with pattern and color distribution. So let me show you these snakes and how they've been developing and show you the aberrances and how they're all different, because I think it's an interesting study. And like I said, this is a little short, quick take today, but I think it'll be an interesting look into the SCORIA boa world and what we could expect in the future. All right, I just wanted to do a little update here. I didn't get to do anything on Monday or Tuesday, so this is actually really Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, in the snake room late, doing some feeding. I wanted to show off, a couple of people asked me about the SCORIAs that I produced this past 2019 season. I produced 5 females, believe it or not, that were SCORIA and that were double hets. They were het for blood and they were parahets, which is either it's either 100% het sharp albino or 100% boa woman caramel T positive. You don't know what it is because the father was a paradigm, so he throws one of those copies. We just don't know what it is, so we call it a parahet. So I believe these are the only ones in the world that are SCORIAs that are double het for the 2 genes. Now, obviously, the goal would be to make a SCORIA Paradigm Blood or a SCORIA albino blood because look at the scoria. This is just a regular scoria, obviously. It's double het, but you can see there's a lot of reds and purples in there already. So adding more red and more, stripping out more melanin is going to be obviously something that's going to really make this animal special. So here's one of my 5 females. I told you went to my friend Doug. He's got her. He's I'm sure feeding her and hopefully going to get her up to breeding size soon enough. These females are really well started. They're really good eaters and they stay really lean, and I haven't been overfeeding them, but they're growing at a really nice rate. I'm really happy. They're almost a year old, and I can't be happier with these. Now, I can't say that much about the BOA season this year. Hasn't gone that well for me. You know, I've had like one litter that was kind of, I guess, successful, but I don't know who's going to go and who's not. That's BOA breeding. But this girl is really, really nice. I have 4 left, and I'm keeping a bunch of them because, once again, with BOAs, and this is the point I'm making, you never know if one will go. You can't just kind of put all your cards and all your chips into one snake, especially if you have an option. So I'm probably planning on letting one more go. I haven't decided which one. It might actually be this one that I might be listing. A couple of people have inquired already, so we'll see what happens. But anyway, I wanted to show off these scorias because all 4 of the ones I kept have completely different looks to them. We know when something is het blood, it messes with pattern in a random manner, not predictable pattern or a predictable way, and that's probably what we're seeing here, I would think. I don't think that the para-het aspect of this snake is really influencing why it looks aberrant and looking odd, but it could be. I would say more than likely it's the fact that it's het blood. As you can see, there's a lot of what I want to call like purplish reds in this. There's pinks in this. The eyes, look at those eyes. They're like steel gray eyes. Really cool looking snake with some round circles and, you know, not a lot of pattern. It's pretty devoid of pattern if you look at, if you see anything that you really notice right off the bat about this. Now you can see this delineation here between the dorsal and ventral side. There's definitely like a line there, and you can kind of see, once again, there's more color there than you would see in the rest of the animal, and it's kind of cool. There's a little bit of melanin there, and I just think it's really a cool looking snake. Now let's go take a look at the next one. Completely different looking snake, same genes. Now, when we say para-het, obviously it could be het for albino, one could be het for BOA and caramel. Once again, I don't think that would really change the visual appearance, the phenotype of this snake, but it could. But it just goes to show you the variability of the scoria, number one, and then the variability of when you put that het blood gene in there. This is almost like a salmon colored snake. The dark spots on its back are really, really distinct. I don't know if the camera's picking them up. I got my new iPhone 11 I'm using right now, so it's a little better than my normal camera, but really, really dark spots. The other one didn't have that. But then it goes into this, like, once again, this salmony color higher up on the animal. Toward the tail, obviously, you're seeing a different look, and you can see the distinction as the tail passes by the upper body. Very distinct. This one I'm definitely keeping because it's just so unique looking, and the coloring is so really nice in this one. Once again, also eating very well, growing very well, and once again, I eat salmon every day. That's my favorite thing, wild caught salmon, and that just reminds me of the salmon that I eat. Scoria number 3. This one has those distinct, and I've shown this in the past, triangles. Where they got triangles, I don't know. The other ones had circles. This has triangles, like cryptic looking Egyptian hieroglyphic looking triangles all over it. With, on the sides, they have these dark, you know, just looking concavities or like convex lenses, it looks like on the side there. Once again, completely variable, completely different, completely like almost looks like a different snake. Like you would never think they were the same morph, you know. You would say, oh, there's got to be something else in there. All of these have essentially the same genetics, so they're expressing their genetics differently. Look at that little square on there. I mean, just these like, just weird like patterns, like some alien came down and just drew some weird hieroglyphics on there, like I said. So, another great female. And then this one's, I think, my favorite. Once again, also those weird cryptic looking triangles on snake. But then this one has like, almost like, I don't know what that would be, like these little dashes and parallel lines on its back. Completely different coloring as well on this snake. She's got some nice size on her as well. Beautiful tail. But this one just has weird patterns. This one's gonna shed. She's gonna look even better once she sheds. She's kind of dulled out a little bit already because she's going into a shed. But once again, this is my favorite, only because of the cryptic looking, stuff. Look at those like little upside down V's. The black, dark ink blots on her. I mean, you could do a psychological profile of this snake and just ask people what these symbols mean, and you would get some serious conspiracy theories going here. I guarantee it. Unbelievable looking. Just once again, the variability. Look at the head. Look at that nice stripe pattern that goes through its eye. Dark black tongue this one has. They all don't have the black tongues, by the way. This one does. So, love it. All right, guys, that's it for today. And I hope you enjoyed this little peek into my SCORIA project. And hopefully, in years to come, we'll see some SCORIA Paradigm bloods, SCORIA albino bloods. I guess it's really unlimited potential. I've seen the albino SCORIAs. They look really cool. I think they were produced over in Europe. And my belief is that the SCORIA with the Paradigm, which is kind of like the amalgam between the sharp albino and the BOA caramel, it's lighter. I think it's going to be a better version of the SCORIA, okay, than the albino SCORIA, because you're going to see more contrast. And I always talk about contrast. Sometimes when you wipe away too much melanin, you don't get the contrast you need to really make the purples and all those other colors pop. So it'll be interesting to see. And then, of course, that blood gene, which adds a ridiculous amount of red into the project, could be really cool too. So I'm super excited. I can't wait to see what happens. Obviously, you got to be patient with these projects, because these females have to take their time to grow up and put their size on. It'll probably be another 2 years, but eventually it'll be there. Time flies, as you guys know. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure you hit the subscribe button, turn on your notifications, hit that like button. We'll see you back tomorrow morning.